Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Fear the Walking Dead video. Yeah, Fear the Walking Dead is ending this Sunday. We have 2 more episodes left. This Sunday, we're getting the 2-part finale. So it's going to be more of a 2-hour event, or I guess each episode's probably going to be about 45 minutes or something like that. So I'm just hyped to see how the story ends. And so in this video here, I want to talk about how every character's story is likely going to end, at least the main characters, and I guess give some official predictions from myself on how I see this ending, where I see it overall going, and we'll just have to wait and see if I'm right? This Sunday is 3 days away. And yeah, we're gonna get the final episodes here. So let's talk about this. So before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. And if you haven't followed me on Twitch yet, definitely go do so. The Walking Dead Destiny's game will be out tomorrow, and I will be streaming that a lot. And my plan as of now is that I will be streaming it tomorrow evening. I'm not exactly sure on the time yet, but if you do follow me on Twitch, just have my notifications live and stuff, and then I'll be able to update you on the time then. The only reason why I don't know is because I have some things that might happen or might not happen, and I'm not entirely sure just where that's going yet. So I'm only really gonna know as of tomorrow, basically kind of in the evening or whenever. I'll have a general idea on what's happening then, and then yeah, I'm very excited to play the game tomorrow. So definitely go follow me on Twitch. I will leave a link down below in the description of this video. But let's talk about Fear the Walking Dead. So Fear the Walking Dead, this show obviously over the years has been, it's pretty shocking. You're sort of looking up stuff about Fear the Walking Dead. You're just looking at stuff in general about the show, and it's very, very unfortunate what happened to Fear the Walking Dead, because this show is honestly very good for a very long time. I actually really enjoyed the show for the first 3 seasons, and I still remember even criticizing some stuff in season 2 because I know there were certain elements of the story in season 2 where it just took a weird turn. But looking at it overall, I'm like, you know what? That was actually fine. And I think the reason why I had an issue with a lot of what the story was back then was because of, I guess maybe it was more of a higher standard of what the story could be, because back then it was season 5, 6 or whatever of The Walking Dead, and then we had season 2 of that, and you know what I mean? So there was more of a higher standard. And also I wasn't the biggest fan of season 2 because I thought Fear the Walking Dead was going to be, a couple of seasons long and would focus more on, I guess just the rise of the apocalypse kind of thing. That was sort of what I thought it was going to be. But no, the first 6 episodes focus a little bit more on what it was like, before the apocalypse happened. But it was kind of more, I guess, just in the earlier moments. You know what I mean? It was earlier on in The Walking Dead, but it was still basically around the same time period. And so that was already a disappointment. But still, overall, looking back at it, I really enjoyed the first 3 seasons quite a bit. And looking at what came after that, I couldn't predict it. I'm kind of sad that it went so downhill and just never really recovered. Season 6 got better, and it did actually get really good. If you go back and watch that season, it's actually a really good season. It's just that overall, that one season isn't going to save how bad seasons 4, 5, 7, and 8 are. And season 8 so far, I hate to say it, but it's not a great season. It's really not. If I had to say which seasons were the worst, I can't really rate season 8 fully yet. So this really is just based off of how many episodes we've seen so far. But I will say that I think season 5 was the worst season, followed by season 7, followed by season 4, and then I'd say season 8 was the best one of the 4. And I only say that because season 8's pacing is actually a little bit more exciting. It's not as boring to watch. Season 4 and 5 were very boring to watch because the pacing was so slow and nothing was happening. And it was the same type of bad writing and everything. But it was just slower, right? So nothing was happening. And then season 7, I still can't believe how bad that season was. It was just absolutely horrible, the entire thing. And then 8, the pacing has gotten so much better. That's the thing. Season 8's pacing has gotten better because they're rushing through all of it. I don't even want to say it's getting better. It's just better because all of it is so bad. If the story was good, I would be saying, okay, no, the pacing is too fast. You got to slow it down because I want to actually sit in the story for a little bit and sort of absorb the entire world, right? And that's just kind of where Fear the Walking Dead is now, and it's ending, and it's one of those things where you sort of have to just say goodbye to the characters and just look at that and I guess be excited that happened, right? That we actually got to meet the Clark family, Strand, Daniel, Luciana, and etc. Meeting all those characters, those characters are amazing. They're really great characters, and the actors, if they were put into a show of the quality of Dead City or Daryl Dixon or The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, they would thrive on those shows. And we would see different sides of those characters where we would be like, wow, I can't believe how bad Fear the Walking Dead was. And so that's why I really do want some characters onto Dead City. Daryl Dixon, that's not going to happen. That's obviously they're set in France. That's too far. But to have those characters in Dead City makes so much sense. Like, just to see what the actors can do as well with different material like that, different writing. I'd be so hyped to see that. And so Fear the Walking Dead is ending this Sunday. And so let's get into some predictions here as to how I think that the story is going to end. You know, in terms of, I guess let's start off with the main story overall, you know, and that really is Madison. I think the last 6 episodes are really centered on Madison and the Clark family. I think above all, like overall, it's Madison and Alicia's story. It's the Clark family, basically, right? And I do like that. That is the way it's supposed to end. You know, just as an idea. And I'm not gonna get into my review on everything here and talk about, you know, just how I think things should be and criticize stuff. I'm really just going based off of what we have so far and just giving ideas. And I'm not gonna try to criticize things too much right now. I'm just more, you know, talking about where I think they'll go. And I think that Madison is most likely, she will get some answers on Alicia. I do think, you know, episode 11 is going to be one of those weird episodes where I feel like it's going to build up a lot of action, a lot of tension and all of that, basically for the finale to have some sort of conclusion. That I do think the finale, the final episode ever, there's going to be some action and some emotional moments throughout the first half of it. And then I do think, you know, at least looking at The Walking Dead and how they ended it, there's going to be a good portion of that final episode that really is just on our characters sort of saying goodbye and whatever. And in terms of a big death and all that, you know, just having those scenes sort of playing out there, just basically saying your goodbyes and all of that. In terms of death predictions, I did say that, you know, in the video the other day that I think that Daniel's going to be the one that dies. I don't see any other character really dying. Like, Madison, could she die? Like, that's the one thing with this show is I don't know what they're planning to do with any of the other characters, right? Like, it makes sense that you could have some of the Fear characters go on to the other spinoffs. Makes total sense. That's what the fans want, right? It's just that I don't know if they're gonna go down that route right now, so it's hard to predict. And with these showrunners, they will kill anyone off and then come up with a reason as to why it makes sense, right? We're not expecting her to die because she literally just came back, right? And people said that they're watching The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead because of Madison, right? They could literally just kill off Madison here. That's what I mean. You can't really predict it here, but based off of just where I think logically it could go, Daniel's kind of the only character that makes sense to die. Besides Daniel, you know, I don't really know. It doesn't really make too much sense to kill off a lot of other characters. I mean, I guess you could make the arguments for it, but Daniel is one of those characters where I just think that it would be very heartbreaking to see him go. Like, it would actually be so sad because Strand, like, again, to me, it comes down to Strand or Daniel and which character you think is going to die, right? Because those two characters are really the core of the entire show. They were there basically from the very beginning, right? From season 1. And they are like the two main characters that have had the most screen time overall. And I can just see one of them die. Could both of them die? Yeah. But I could see one of them dying for sure. And I feel like in order to make this a little bit more bittersweet, you would have to kill Daniel off because Daniel hasn't been a villain at all at any point in the series. Strand has, and so there is that part to it, right? And I can also just see Strand's story ending where he sort of runs Padre now, right? Padre is going to be a place where they just sort of they take care of that place now and things are going really good, right? Like, I think that makes a lot of sense that they'll probably end it in that way. In terms of like every other character, like a lot of them, honestly, with where their stories are at right now, they could just end it there. And that's why I feel like it's probably going to end like that. Like, I think the only characters that are going to have more definitive endings that change a little bit are like, I mean, Dwight and Sherry, we're going to see something with that because we don't really know where they're going to go. Same with June. Luciana is kind of doing the whole thing with, like, you know, giving supplies and resources to people and stuff. She sort of has this meaning in life right now. I can see her still doing that, right? And they'll just kind of keep it there. Again, Daniel and Strand, what are they going to do? Strand, I could see being the leader of Padre. Daniel, he might die. And then it's possible that Daniel's death unites like Strand and Luciana and all that. Though, the thing about this group, though, is that they're all united, but they're all not as well. Like, they all hate each other, but then they also all get along. Like, it's just kind of ridiculous. Madison, I could just see leaving. And if she leaves, she could take Alicia with her. Like, maybe her and Alicia go somewhere to go and help people or whatever. and there's a tease at like New York City. That's kind of how I would want it to end, is to have them in Dead City. It's kind of crazy to think that we could have Madison and Alicia on Dead City, and I don't really see it playing out like that. I've always thought that it would just be one of them, and they would be teasing a reunion for the future or something like that. In terms of the overall ending, though, for this story, I wonder if they do a time jump. You know, because I'm just trying to think, like The Walking Dead, they did a year time jump. They couldn't do the time jump that they wanted to. They did film a bunch of scenes where they have all those alternate scenes or whatever. It's possible that they you know, maybe use a scene like that and they do something like that with Fear the Walking Dead, where maybe it cuts to the future, 20, 30 years into the future, and we just see certain characters having families, this and that. Maybe it's like 5-10 years into the future, and we just see people happy, you know? Like, I could see that actually being something that happens, and then you just end the story there, and then it's a happy ending, just sort of for whatever, for the characters. Some characters died, whatever. It's kind of bittersweet, I guess, but it's an ending. You wrote it, you have the characters here and there, and yeah, the show is obviously really bad, but you still, overall, you got the characters here. I'm excited. You know, I can't wait to see just where this goes here. Episode 11, I feel like not a lot's going to happen, but 12, most of all the drama is going to be taking place, because I really do think 11 is going to be one of those things where it's the same general thing that we've been getting for the last couple of episodes, and then I think that, yeah, in the finale is where a lot of stuff's going to happen, and that could be why they put both episodes together, because it's possible that like not a lot's happening here, and it does kind of feel like it overall. I think they probably looked at Fear the Walking Dead and they're like, you know what, we just need to end this show. We just need to end this show and just have it sort of gone in the past, because I really think that with it, for AMC anyways, they really do want to build up the reputation of the Walking Dead universe again, and Dead City and Daryl Dixon really built up that reputation a lot. And I can see how, just based off of all the content and stuff that you have for the Walking Dead universe, you have those two shows that are like really amazing. And it's like, okay, like we're getting really good reviews here. We're getting ratings that are breaking all these records and stuff. So we're feeling really good, but we got to put Fear the Walking Dead there. That's going to taint some stuff. So I can see how they probably just wanted to do a 2-part finale just to be like, you know what, let's just get this out there and done. And then once that's over, the next show is The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. And then just going forward, we're going to focus on like high quality spinoffs and stuff, right? And I'm excited for that. I really am excited for that, because that's the thing that I mentioned in previous videos, that I never really got to get my point across entirely. Like right now, there's not a lot of talk about The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, but as soon as Fear the Walking Dead is over, it's going to shift right to that show, and the excitement's going to be really insane, because as soon as Daryl Dixon was over, the shift immediately was Fear the Walking Dead. It was like we totally forgot that show aired, right? It's just sort of how it is. But The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, that show is going to be really talked about a lot starting next week, and I hope we get a trailer this Sunday. I hope that we get a trailer next week if it's not this Sunday. So anyways, definitely post all your thoughts down below. These are my overall predictions. I think that Daniel's probably going to be one of the bigger deaths, and I see everyone else sort of living happily ever after. I do think Madison and Alicia will probably leave the entire area. That's kind of how I see it ending, and I think it's possible that they do end with a time jump. So that's my overall predictions as of now. We'll see if I'm right, but post all your thoughts down below. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.